Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down how to calculate Forex pivot points. This is a fundamental, go-to tool for tons of traders who are looking for potential turning points in the market.
So let's just dive right in. Have you ever found yourself staring at a chart wondering, where on earth do I draw my support and resistance lines? You know, it can feel pretty random sometimes, right? Well, let's look at a tool that's designed to take all of that guesswork out of the picture.
And that brings us to pivot points. So what are they, really? Think of them as a set of key support and resistance levels. But instead of just guessing where to put them, they're calculated using a really simple formula that's based entirely on what the price did yesterday.
To cook these up, you only need a few key ingredients from the last trading session. You need the highest price it reached, the lowest price, and the price where it closed. For some types of pivots, you also use the open. That's it. These four numbers basically sum up the whole story of yesterday's trading.
Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, the Forex market is open 24 hours a day, how can it have a close? And that is a fantastic question. Since it literally never sleeps, traders needed a standard. So most people just use the New York closing time, that's 5 p.m. Eastern, as the official end of the trading day.
All right, let's get into the actual mechanics. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, the centerpiece of this whole system, the main pivot point itself. This one number is the anchor for everything else we're going to calculate.
And the formula for this main pivot point, we'll just call it PP, is so simple. You just take the high, the low, and the close from the day before, add them all together, and then divide by 3. What you get is basically an average price, a sort of fair value level from yesterday's action.
Okay, so once we have that main pivot point, that's when the fun begins. We start building out from it, creating a whole series of support and resistance levels. Think of it like building a roadmap for the current trading day, showing you all the potential bumps and hurdles along the way.
And we usually build these out in 3 key layers. First, you've got your closest level of support and resistance. That's S1 and R1. Then you have a second, wider level, S2 and R2. And finally, a third level, S3 and R3, which usually marks some of the more extreme price moves.
Now just take a look at this table. What's so cool about this is how everything is interconnected. See how every single one of these formulas for R1, S1, R2, you name it, they all use either that main pivot point we already calculated or yesterday's high and low. It's a totally self-contained system, which is exactly what makes it so objective.
Okay, I see you. You're looking at all those formulas, maybe your eyes are starting to glaze over and you're having flashbacks to high school math class, but before you reach for a calculator, I have some really good news.
You don't actually have to do any of this math yourself. The source material puts it perfectly here. If you hated algebra, you are in luck. You can use this tool without ever having to crunch a single number.
And this is why. Just look at this chart. Pretty much every single charting platform out there today will do all the heavy lifting for you. You click a button and bam, all of those mathematically perfect lines just appear right on your chart for the day. It's awesome.
So if the software does all the work for you, then why did we even bother walking through the math? Well, it's because understanding how the sausage is made is key to understanding why it can be so effective. And it all comes down to one really powerful idea.
And this right here, this is the whole game. Think about it. When you draw a trend line and I draw one, they might be a little different, right? That's subjective. But pivot points are totally objective. The formula is fixed. Yesterday's prices are set in stone. That means every single trader using pivots is looking at the exact same levels. And that shared reality is incredibly powerful. And that objectivity, it's like a trader's superpower. Because the formula never ever changes, you can go back in time on your charts. You can backtest and see exactly how the price reacted to these specific levels in the past. It removes all the "I think this might be a level" and lets you do real analysis.
So we've covered the what, the why, and the how. You know that these objective levels are going to be laid out for you on your chart every single day. So that leaves us with the biggest question of all, right? With these levels all set, how do you actually use them to make trading decisions?